Hello everyone, I'm Ariana and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, then welcome to my channel. Okay, so I don't really have a plan for this video. I also have my retainer in right now, so if I look funny, if I sound like I'm talking funny, it's because I am, probably. I want to do a get ready with me, that's why I don't have any makeup on. But I don't necessarily know exactly what's going to come out. I like to use these get ready with me type videos as kind of therapy to myself to get things off my chest, especially since my channel's so small, you know. I have a feeling I know what kind of look I want to do. My skin has really been acting up since the weather started changing. It does this, it's a normal thing, but it means my skin is not quite as clear, and so I'm using makeup a lot less in an attempt to not irritate my skin. I don't know how long this is gonna last. Oh my god, that was way too much primer. Way too much primer. Let me try to redistribute that. I'm trying to leave my hair down because I think it looks cute. Maybe I just can't. Maybe I should just put it up. I think I'll begin with foundation so that my skin doesn't look like this for the entire video. It's not too bad, but I just have some scarring right here, and it's going to take a little while for that to fade away. So I've been mixing my Fenty foundation with this NYX Total Control Drops foundation because this one is a little bit too dark for me and this one is a way light for me. So when I mix them together, it comes out to a better shade match for myself. So I have this issue, and let me know if anybody else has this issue as well. But being a person of color, of obvious melanin, I do feel like when I go to Sephora to get matched and stuff like that, because of my features, like my curly hair, my dark eyes, you know, and my dark hair, they tend to have this perception that my skin is darker than it actually is. And that can become a huge issue when I'm trying to get shade matched. Because anytime I get shade matched, I generally get matched way too dark for my actual skin tone. And it ends up making me look kind of orange when my skin has a more neutral undertone to it. And so the shade 300 was one of those moments where I got shade matched by the Sephora employee. Like, she used that little machine, you know, that scans your skin and everything, and it still matched me way too dark. And it's Fenty, so I know that they have a shade out there that's going to match me much better than this one. But it just kind of annoys me that I went through all that trouble to get a foundation that matches me like perfectly, and it didn't even come, well, I won't say it didn't come close, but they definitely could have done better. So yes, that's why I'm mixing. Nobody should ever have to mix their foundation. No matter what shade you are, I don't care if you're the fairest of the fair, if you are the darkest of the dark, it doesn't matter. You shouldn't have to mix your foundation. There should be a shade out there for everyone. And I understand that not every brand can cater to every skin tone, but somewhere out there should be something that comes close to your actual skin tone. I understand that it can't be exact, but there's no reason that anyone should have to mix. And I'm thinking about this particularly because I know my skin tone is more catered to in the beauty community. Brands put out foundations that match me, you know what I'm saying? So this is not necessarily an issue for me, although I do have to mix because Sephora's gun things don't want to match my skin correctly. But the point is, I can find something if I really look for it. But my boyfriend's mom said that she can never find a foundation match for herself. And that kind of upsets me a little bit because you should never have to expect to mix your foundation. I understand that I got shade matched incorrectly and that's why, but it should never be an issue where the brands just aren't putting out shades that match you at all. Like, no, if you go to any brand and you can't find a single shade that matches you, there's something wrong with that. I really do make an effort to purchase foundations, especially foundations and complexion products, but I try in general to purchase from brands that are as inclusive as they have the ability to be. And I do this because I want to put my money where my mouth is, and I want everyone to be able to walk into a store and find something that's going to work for them. That's the ultimate goal, you know what I'm saying, in makeup, is that you can go into any store and find something. Obviously everything's not going to work for you, but you should be able to find something that works for you without you having to mix. Period. End of story. That should not even be a question. See, you can kind of tell how even when I mix it, it's still a little bit orange compared to it's a little bit yellow rather compared to my chest. But anyway, I recently picked up a new concealer for myself, and it's the highly raved about Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer, and this is it. I was also matched again, but this time I was matched by another girl who looked like she was obviously not white. I don't know what her ethnicity was, but she was definitely a person of color. But anyway, I was matched by her this time, and I got a much better match for this concealer than I did with the Fenty foundation. Did I say this one's in the shade Natural Beige? And even she looked at it and she was like, I think that's gonna be too light for you. And I tried it on, and this is almost exactly my skin tone, and it also can work under my eyes. I was like, no, I'm not having a problem. I don't know why. But see, you can't even see it anymore because it blends so well into my natural skin tone. So I can actually use this as an under eye concealer or an all over just foundation if I wanted to. But anyway, where was I going with this story? I honestly don't know. But it does brighten a little bit, but I can still use it on my face. And I think it looks extra bright right now because it's matched up to this foundation that's not quite my color. But okay, I'll end that rant. I will tell you how I got this concealer though. It was a gift from my boyfriend for my birthday, and it was kind of an accidental gift. He knows how much I love anything that comes from Sephora because it's probably something super nice and something that I wouldn't necessarily want to spend my own money on. And in my opinion, those are the best gifts. So he went to Sephora. He got me the Sephora Favorite skincare kit because he knew that I was talking about skincare, and that I was tired of purchasing more and more makeup because I feel like I have enough now. I don't really need to buy too much more makeup, right? And so, like every good partner should, he totally listened to that. Didn't let me on to know that he was listening, but he did. And he got me that skincare favorite set, and I thought that so many of the products in there were so good, and I've tried some of them. I'm still interested to try the other ones. But he also got me the Fenty Little Matchsticks Duo, and I have them right here. They're so cute, right? But the thing is, I already owned this. I had already purchased it for myself, and this is the one I purchased for myself. So this is the Matchstick Duo. So he bought me the exact same thing. So I laughed and I was like, you know me so well. You know me so well. You know me just as well as I know myself because I already have this. And so he, went ahead and gave me the okay to go in Sephora and exchange it for something else that I didn't already have. So he was like, okay, well, let's go to Sephora and see what they have, right? And I saw that concealer and I was so excited. I was like, I've been wanting to try a new concealer for a while because the ones that I've had have not been good, but I've just been using them because I just, I don't want to waste too much more money trying to find a good concealer. I saw that in the store and I knew a lot of people had been talking about it on, on the YouTube, as they do. I gotta say, it's most definitely the best concealer that I've ever tried. Not that I've tried a lot, and not that my comparison really means much. And I don't know if I said how much it cost, but it's $29. I know that sounds expensive for a concealer, but there's a lot of product in here compared to the amount of product that is in a traditional concealer. I mean, this tube is huge. This tube is huge. It's half an ounce, and that's half the size of your standard foundation. I'm trying to get my makeup collection down to a reasonable size where I don't have too many of one category of products. I know right now I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes, a significant amount of highlighters, and a significant amount of lipsticks. And right now those are the two categories that I'm really trying to pare down and use up some stuff. I don't feel too badly about having a lot in those areas though, because that's your eyeshadow and your lipstick in particular are where you can put color, and I'm a very colorful person. When it comes to my base products, I can use the same things every day and not really get bored of them. But you know, when it comes to eyeshadow palettes, I want them all. I want them all, and I haven't bought a new one in a long time, so I'm really proud of myself. I actually hit pan. This is a spoiler, okay? This is a tiny bit of a spoiler. I might do another video about all the products I've hit pan on. But I have this little baby pan in my e.l.f. palette in the shade Party Purple. Yes, that's how much I like the purple in here. I'm thinking about using this as my Pan That palette for next year, but anywho. Oh snap, okay, I really need to get my life together. That's what I need to do. I don't really know how to make this conversation flow more naturally, but I have been thinking a lot about religion and also about human nature, and also how those things have kind of shaped each other, how religion has shaped human behavior, I guess, and how religion has been shaped by natural human behavior, human nature, like what it is that we instinctually do, and how we have shaped religion based on that, and how religion has also shaped the way that we behave, if that makes sense. And I'm speaking specifically from someone who's not particularly aligned with one religion. I see the good in a lot of religions, and I see some of the more negative aspects of a lot of religions. And they're generally the same. I mean, human beings in general are more alike than we are different. That's just the way it is. We are way more alike to one another than we are different. And I think that once we realize that, we can stop categorizing ourselves so heavily. I understand that it's important to have community, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to larger entities such as religious groups, especially the really popular ones, a lot of people follow these kind of guidelines on how you want to live your life. Ultimately, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think that that's amazing if you want to kind of pick a pathway for your life to go. And I do think that religion serves such a huge purpose in the way that we act with each other. It can kind of hold people accountable, and you know, it gives us an opportunity to kind of think outside of ourselves for once, instead of always thinking about what is going on right in front of us. Sometimes we have to sit back and kind of appreciate all this creation. I'm gonna list some of the things that I like about religion, because I'm not particularly religious, but I can understand why people would be, especially growing up in a religious household myself. It can give you a lot of peace. Religion can give you a sense of community. It kind of gives you answers for things that you may not be able to explain on your own. It really does serve a purpose, and those are all things that we need to feel, and I'm not an expert on this, by the way, but I feel that these are things that we need to feel secure about our state in the world, our state in existence. We need to feel confident about those kinds of things, that the celestial universe is working in a way that is favorable to us. That is what we want, right? But I personally tend to believe the universe is a little bit more random than we give it credit for. And to me, that makes it even more amazing that all of these things came out of randomness. All of this life, all of this diversity in life, all of this diversity in just humans in general. But I've really just been exploring my spirituality and kind of trying to figure out where I fit in this great big universe, and how I want to kind of explain things for myself. You know, what are the answers that I'm personally looking for? What kind of questions do I even want to ask to find answers for? I am a big believer in science. I think we don't give science its due. That's one of the things that I kind of disagree with when it comes to religious things. And I'm not speaking about people in particular, more so the institution. The institution of the church, for example, doesn't always recognize scientific findings. And that kind of bothers me a little bit, because I feel that it should be a little bit more malleable. We should be able to kind of take what our ancestors believed and also adapt it to new information that we have discovered, because we've discovered a lot of new things about the universe since, you know, long ago when we thought God sent the rain and that was it. That was how it rained. That just because God decided that it was gonna rain. Which we now know it rains because the water on Earth evaporates and then it condensates in the air and all that stuff. I don't know why the two cannot blend well, like this eyeshadow right now. I like to blend the two. I like to take scientific finding, look at the evidence, see, you know, what it is, and then adapt it to what I believe in. I'm getting kind of deep here, so feel free to skip this part, I guess, but this has just been something that's been on my mind. This eyeshadow looks kind of good. But like, for example, I believe in evolution. I believe that that happened. I believe the science, you know, I've seen it for my own eyes. I've been explained it. I've looked into it myself. You know what I mean? I understand how DNA works. I understand how it replicates itself. I understand how mutations happen. I understand that organisms mesh themselves to their environment, but I don't see why evolution can't be an act of God. Our whole understanding of God is that he or she, our whole understanding of God is that they created us, right? Whoever God is the creator. I don't know why that can't coexist with the idea that maybe it wasn't all done instantaneously and maybe it took a little bit more time. It took some finagling. Maybe God kind of exists to push things along a little bit. If that kind of sums up my personal views on the universe and kind of how it works. Obviously everyone's different, everyone has their own logic to things, but that's just kind of how I see it. And it makes sense to me, so that's what I'm gonna go with. But I do love discussing this kind of stuff with other people because I've had a lot of different friends from different religious backgrounds, and I always love to hear like why you think that, why you believe what it is that you believe. And at the end of the day, I don't think religion should be something that's all or nothing. It doesn't have to be, you know, you're right and I'm wrong, or I'm right and you're wrong. I think it's important for us to kind of take it all in and kind of decide for ourselves what is the truth, what makes sense to me. If it doesn't make sense to me, then I can't subscribe myself to it, because that would be silly to waste my life away doing something that I don't believe in. But I do ultimately think it's really important to just be open, and open to learning, open to new experiences, open to the fact that you might be wrong, and open to the fact that you might actually be right about some things as well. Okay, I think I have enough purple on my eyelids. But I think we would all be better people if we really tried to kind of see the other person's side of the story. There are a lot of other people out there that categorize themselves with a different culture. There are a lot of other people that categorize with different genders than I do, or different sexualities than I do, and people come from different backgrounds than I do. You know, some people come from parents that made a lot of money and then I didn't. But I do think that despite all of these differences that we have as people and as human beings, I still believe that we are more similar than we are different. Something like 99.1% of your genes are the exact same as everybody else. Or no, maybe 99.9% of your genes are exactly the same as everybody else. And that tiny fraction of a fraction is what's different about us. So I know that even in scientific terms, we are more alike than we are different. We act more similarly to each other than we do differently. And it's really important to recognize your differences, but also realize that we're all just people at the end of the day. And you know, maybe that other person really does have a point. Maybe that other person has something valuable to say, and you really should listen to people when they try to incite something on you that you don't already know. Because we don't know everything. Nobody knows everything, and that's just that. Okay, so speaking of Sephora, I was speaking about Sephora so long ago, but anyway, and speaking of Sephora, they have on sale right now. I don't know if it'll be so by the time I post this video, but these Bite Beauty Agave lip masks, these things are $26. They've been on my Sephora loves list for a long time because I've really wanted to try them, My lips get so dry and ordinary chapstick doesn't always do anything to my lips. So I've been looking for something that can really deep condition my lips, right? And I knew I was gonna have to spend some extra money, and I was willing to spend the $26 on this when I finally, you know, was at a more financially stable state. But I found it on sale at Sephora this week for 13 bucks, and I just couldn't pass up on it, so I went ahead and got it. And I was either gonna get this or the $12 trio mini set, and I much rather wanted the full size of the mask. And I gotta say, I kind of like it. I do like that Bite Beauty's products are food grade, so if you like lick your lips or something a lot, you know, it's not going to be a problem. You're not going to be ingesting anything bad into your body. It's very thick, not too thin, doesn't wear away quickly. And I like that you can kind of wear it as a gloss because it has shimmer in it. Another thing that I found on sale, last year I tried the Stila Glitter and Glows for the very first time, and I fell in love with them. That trio set was $25, and each individual full-size one would be $24. That's kind of a lot to spend on one product in my opinion. But there was this one specific shade called Sea Siren that I was interested in for a long time because I love anything mermaid related, but it eventually disappeared off of either Sephora's site or Ulta's site. It disappeared off of one of the sites, so I was like, oh no, they're just continuing it, I'll never get it now, whatever. But I went to TJ Maxx the other day, the same day that I got the lip mask. I went in just to look around and I saw these magnificent metals, and I found the exact one that I wanted, which is Siren's Call, or excuse me, Sea Siren, and it wasn't $24, wasn't even close. I found it for $7.99, way better. But there were some other colors, and this is the one that I wanted the most because I had really wanted it for a long time. And you can see just how easily that applied. Like, look at all this glitter on my lid, and I didn't even have to really work for it. Oh my gosh, that is gorgeous. That is so gorgeous. It's a purple and blue duochrome. Well, if that's not the easiest eye look I've ever done, I don't know what is. I feel like I've discussed so much today and I'm not even done with my makeup yet. But at least I can say that I've been in a really good mood lately, even though I just had a job interview at Sephora and I don't think it went that well. Doing makeup on other people is really hard. Part of me is wanting to put on eyeliner, and another part of me is way too lazy to do so. And generally speaking, my lazy side will win. Alright y'all, I think that is where I'm going to end this video. If you did enjoy any of the topics that I covered in this video, feel free to begin a little discussion in the comment section. I love hearing people's thoughts. I like when people are involved in my comment section. I'd like to start communicating more with the people who are following me and the people that I'm also following. It's a two-way street. So anyway, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Give this video a thumbs down if you hated it. Please click that button. And also subscribe if you care to, if you're not already. I think that's about it for my spiel, right? I will see you, hopefully, in my next video. Bye!